Boker Tov. I decided to record this video right on the camera versus going live first. I'm just curious whether there's really much of a difference. Because right now what I have to do is, if I want to turn a Facebook live into a YouTube video, there's a whole process. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just create the video that I load to YouTube directly and then share that to Facebook. Sort of a little different approach. So anyway, we'll see if there's any difference. What I wanted to speak to you about is snow. Pure, white, light snow, right? So every snowflake is unique. Every one of us is a snowflake. And there's a purity potential for us. But there's also that gets corrupted. Now, in Christianity, they would refer to that as Satan, or I think it was earlier, it was Diablos. Yetzer Hara is a more Jewish traditional concept of this evil inclination. And, you know, a child starts out with, you know, a baby, an infant. It's just so pure. Even its emotions that represent anger and crying are based on pure needs, you know, for food or a diaper change or pain. But over time, the body sort of gets corrupted. The heart gets corrupted. It's interesting, if you've ever seen a Hasidic Jew, how they dressed, you may not notice it, because most people notice their payas, which is because they're not supposed to cut the corners of their hair on their head. Same kind of idea with the tzitzit, they wear a talit with the four corners of the tzitzit, the strings, you know, those long strings. There's particular ways in which those threads work out that are on the four corners of them to remind them, you know, of God in the four corners of the earth and surrounding themselves with God. So essentially, you know, Christians would do like warding off evil, you know, and in a Jewish sense, that's what's happening too. We're trying to, you know, keep our heart pure, trying to keep out evil inclinations, Yetzer Hara, and live in a world where keep our mind in a better place, a place where it's light, where it's pure light, and the light pierces the darkness. The light is more powerful. You know, you don't see darkness putting out a light. You see light putting out darkness, right? You can have a solid wall and darkness on one side, light on the other, bright, pure, white, strong light on the other. If you knock out one brick in that wall, the light pierces through and the dark room is no longer dark. But the light room is not dark. It works, light is stronger. You know, Satan or Yetzer Hara or fallen angels or whatever you want to say, God is still the ruler, okay? Anyway, back to snow. We have this beautiful snow on the ground right outside my treadmill, which I work on. You know, the nice thing about the treadmill is I can put it at 10% and just walk uphill a little bit the whole time. And I don't have to deal with the weather. But I really do prefer to be outside going up and down my driveway. It's flat for a portion, hill for a portion. It does a similar thing. But I like to look at the outside. But as people, we have to work on the inside. We have to restore our heart and bring back give ourselves a new heart, you might say, Christians would say. But restoring our heart and making our heart pure light. See, with menorah of Hanukkah, we have our one more night coming up tomorrow night. With Hanukkah, the candelabra, the menorah, which is really called the Chanukiah because there's no 9-stick candelabra in the Torah, but in the Tanakh. But there is this 8 candles, and the servant candle, the 9th candle, it sits above them. It comes out of the tabernacle. It comes out of the Holy of Holies, right? Okay, like Shimon Tzadik's torches when he marched to King Alexander to bless King Alexander. So the light comes out of the tabernacle. It used to be the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, who could go into the tabernacle, who could go into the Holy of Holies with a rope. For example, on Yom Kippur, he had to be so pure in these gorgeous robes, in these wonderful robes. He went in and he could experience the temple menorah that Moses instructed. God instructed Moses how to make out of pure gold, how to hammer them out with the I think it's almond leaves. So there's the light comes out of the temple, and when the light comes out of the temple, it's light to purify us in a way, very much the same way as which the light inside the temple was intended for purification. And we sacrifice to God inside the temple. We do not do sacrifices today, and there's a lot to that, but I won't go into this point. What I want to make is the point about our heart. So I know so many people are struggling with what's going on in the world today, and that's what I'm speaking to without getting political. Because it doesn't matter whether you're Republican or Democrat or not either. There's this stress, strain you see going on in the world, and a lot of times it's just because people are focused on that. Napoleon Hill, I think, is this, you become what you think about. So if you watch the news, and I don't watch the news, I don't turn on TV. I barely ever. If I watch TV, it's either a movie that has some good value, a documentary, or the Hallmark Channel. That's what we try to keep on in the house. I turn the channel. If I walk in the room and Mary's got, NBC or MSN on, I'm like, I'm in the room too, and I don't want to watch that. And just like, if she came in the room and I was watching something she didn't want to watch, she'd either walk out of the room or she'd change the channel, and I'd say, fine, I don't want you to, you don't have to watch something you don't want to watch, right? So, or I'll put on my headphones. That's really a lot of times what I end up doing, and I'll listen to positive things. Now, there's a prayer, and I put it up on my Facebook below this video. The Hashivenu Adonai comes from Lamentations, and it's this Hashivenu is kind of restore us, bring us back to you, God. God is always calling us. Okay, now I want you to think of a heart as a construction project. So for anybody out there that's ever done a renovation, especially of an old house, over time the old house is corrupted. Water leaks in, there's damage, just rot and insects and all sorts of ways in which the property, the house, is corrupted. And if you're going to do a restoration of that house, you might just want to replace your kitchen cabinets, and next thing you know, you have to replace the sheetrock, and then you find you got to replace, there's no insulation and the wiring's no good. And, sometimes a restoration turns out to be a gut rehab because you just find there's just so much damage. Well, in a way, our heart is a old home. It's an old home filled with memories. Okay, good memories, not so good memories. All right, and our heart leads us, because in sales we say people buy with emotion, they justify it with logic. That's putting it in a sales terms, which is to say, you have to find the emotional reason why people want to buy most things, and if they really have the desire for that thing, then they'll find a way to justify it. The logic, but if they don't want it emotionally, if they do not want it emotionally, logic won't appeal to them because they just don't want it emotionally. Okay, well, that's the Yetzer Hara. The evil inclination is to appeal to those emotions that are bodily. I mentioned the Hasidic before, ultra-Orthodox Jews who dress in those black robes and so forth. Well, a Hasid wears they call it a garkel, I think it is. It's the same name as the band that's around the Torah. If you were to take a Torah scroll out of the Ark, after you remove the crowns and the yod and the breastplate, the essentially dressings of the Torah, the last thing you have before you open the scrolls is call it a belt, a band, a belt. It goes around the scrolls, and it just holds it together, right? Like a belt that you wear around your body. Well, at a chassid, they have the same concept, but what is it for? It's to separate the upper body from the lower body. It's to separate the body, that is the heart, the mind, from the lower body, where you have, let's say, lustful inclinations. Okay? And so, because if you're not careful, your heart will get corrupted. It just happens. That's what the world does. It corrupts us. So Hashivenu Adonai is a concept of restoring ourselves. So it's a project. Now, some people's hearts start out in a better place, and they've had maybe less time to be corrupted, or maybe less influences on them over time, and maybe they were guided by holiness in earlier parts of their life, and so they don't have as corrupted a heart. But everyone's heart gets corrupted, and some people, it's terribly corrupted with hate and anger and jealousy and lustful desires and all sorts of things. Now, don't look at me as though I'm perfect, because I am not. I am right hand, and I swear I sin. Just like, I violate commandments, I sin, I do things that I'm not proud of, okay? But I have honestly worked hard to Hashivenu Adonai, to come closer to God, to restore my heart, and to try to keep things out of my heart that are going to make it corrupt, or make it, to avoid the temptations, you might say, of the Yetzer Hara. It's not easy, and I make mistakes, but when I look outside and I see white snow, right, I say, okay, nature has kind of a way of doing it, with washing things away and covering things over, all right, and they're different. And so we can do that, what nature does, we can do ourselves in our heart. We can restore our heart. And then I think it's a more joyful place to be. It's really kind of trying to get to a place of loving kindness. Hasidism is about kindness. It's about loving kindness. It's about not judging others' hearts. There's so many people looking into the hearts of people. There could be somebody who's a Democrat, because I'm a conservative, who absolutely hates Trump with a passion. And the more mean and nasty they are, I don't hate them. If anything, I feel bad for them. Okay? Because they've fallen victim to the Yetzer Hara. They may justify it. You may think, oh, because of this. No, I'm sorry. Once you start to go down that path of hate and anger, ridicule and despising people, these people are just people whose heart got corrupted. They fell victim to the evil inclinations. It can happen to you and me. It does happen to you and me. But everybody can come back. Everybody, no matter how far off you are, can come back. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not about not having fun. I love fun. I love to laugh when people make me laugh. I love seeing people laugh. I think as much as anything in the world. It's one of the reasons I love my wife, is that she laughs. Like Isaac will laugh. Okay? I think one of the biggest reasons I married my wife is because she's got a great laugh. She laughs. And I didn't grow up laughing. I didn't have a laugh when I was younger. Not like I appreciate today. I used to feel sad that I didn't laugh enough. I really did. There's an honest testimony to you. I wanted to laugh more, and I had difficulty with it. So restoring the heart can bring you to a joyful place. Now, laughing's great, but joy is really great too. And whether you're laughing and smiling outwardly or not, if your heart has joy, then everything's okay. But you can laugh and be angry. Okay? You can smile and be mean. But when we focus on the heart and we bring light into the heart, I think that is a really great message for these last couple nights of Hanukkah as we turn the page and go into Christmas. And let's not make Christmas about a red man in a suit who gives out gifts. Let's make it about the real meaning of Christmas, right? And let's be joyful. Praise to the Lord, right? All right, bye-bye.